Mangaroos Tutoring Services Mathematics Classes. Expanded notation. Expanded notation is the separation of each digit in a number by multiplying each digit by its place value. When each separation is summed, the total would give the value of the number. I recommend that if you haven't already learned place value and value, you can do so now before looking at this topic. We will now go on to some examples. You can feel free to attempt the examples if you are confident enough, and even if you are not, after doing some of the examples, you can feel free to pause the video and attempt any of the others. We will then move on to an exercise where you can apply what you have learned from the examples. Example 1, 2953. So the 2 is in the thousands column, so it is 2 times 1000, plus the 9 is in the hundreds column, so that's 9 times 100. The 5 is in the tens column, so that's 5 times 10, plus the 3 is in the ones column, so that's 3 times 1. So remember to add each bracket. Example 2, 3.827. The point after the 3 is called a decimal point. If you haven't yet learned about decimal numbers, and you have access to my video on decimal numbers, you can go and look at that video before continuing with this one. However, you can also look at this video but only focus on the whole numbers and the expanded notation with relation to the whole numbers. Afterwards, when you have finished learning about decimal numbers, you can return to this video and look at all aspects and have a full appreciation for all the examples. The 3 is in the ones column, so that's 3 times 1, plus the 8 is in the tenths column, so that's 8 times 1/10, plus the 2 is in the hundredths column, so that's 2 times 100, plus the 7 is in the thousandths column, so that's 7 times 1000. Example 3, 2,638,975.401. The 2 is in the millions place, so it's 2 times 1 million, plus the 6 is in the hundreds of thousands column, so that's 6 times 100,000. The 3 is in the tens of thousands column, so that's 3 times 10,000. The 8 is in the thousands column, so that's 8 times 1000. The 9 is in the hundreds position, so that's 9 times 100. The 7 is in the tens place, so that's 7 times 10. The 5 is in the one position, or ones position, so that's 5 times 1. The 4 is in a tenths position, so that's 4 times 1/10. The 0, we can leave that out, or we can put 0 times 100 because it's in the hundredths position. And lastly, 1 times 1000 because that 1 is in the thousands column. And of course, we must add each bracket. Example 4, 3,405,186.927. So this is 3 times 1 million plus 4 times 100,000 plus 0 times 10,000 plus 5 times 1,000 plus 1 times 100 plus 8 times 10 plus 6 times 1 plus 9 times 1/10 plus 2 times 100 plus 7 times 1000. And once we sum this, we will get our original figure, 3,405,186.927. That was the last example. Ensure to take down the notes and examples before moving forward. Once you have understood them, we can now move on to some questions. You can take the questions down, attempt them, and then we will go on to the solutions. Exercise 1. Write the following numbers as expanded notation or in expanded notation form. So here we have 4 numbers or 4 questions. You are required to write them down. There is no need to pause the video at this point. When you have finished, you can then attempt all of them before looking at the solution. Once you have made your best attempt at the 4 questions in exercise 1, you can now take a look at the solutions. Question 1. 2 times 1000 plus 8 times 100 plus 4 times 10 plus 7 times 1. Number 2. 3 times 10,000 plus 0 times 1000 plus 7 times 100 plus 2 times 10 plus 1 times 1. Number 3. 4 times 100,000 plus 0 times 10,000 plus 9 times 1000 plus 6 times 100 plus 4 times 10 plus 3 times 1. Number 4. 1 times 1 million plus 7 times 100,000 plus 2 times 10,000 plus 5 times 1000 plus 8 times 100 plus 0 times 10 plus 4 times 1. This brings us to the end of exercise 1. You can pause the video at this point if you need to take down the questions or make any corrections. We will then move on to exercise 2. Exercise 2. Write down these questions in your book. No need to pause the video. When you have finished doing so, you can attempt the questions. And afterwards, we will go through the solutions together. Exercise 2 solutions. 1 times 1 plus 5 times 1/10. Number 2. 3 times 1 plus 6 times 1/10 plus 2 times 100. Number 3. 7 times 1 plus 9 times 1/10 plus 8 times 100. We can leave out a 0. Number 4. 1 times 1 million plus, we can leave out those 2 zeros. 3 times 1000, again leave out those 2 zeros. 9 times 1 and 2 times 100. This brings us to the end of exercise 2. If you have corrections to make, you can do so now. If you need to pause the video, you can do so now. Thank you for watching. If you have found this video to be helpful, please feel free to contact us for more information about our classes.